Okay, so I already did this one because I was trying to use another software to do it, and so yeah. But anyway, let me just show you how I would punch these things into my calculator. So sine 63 is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, so b over 5, and then I'm multiplying both sides by 5. And now I just need to multiply 5 times sine 63. Now the thing about this calculator is that it accepts data. You have to tell it the angle first and then hit the sine key. And you also have to make sure that the three little letters that are right here are D, E, G. This button right here that says DRG changes that from DEG to RAD to GRAD. It needs to be on DEG. Very important for degrees for your angles. There are other ways to measure angles, and degrees is the one we're using. So we have to make sure the calculator knows that. All right, so when we try to punch this in, we're going to hit 5 times. And now instead of hitting sine and then 63, we have to hit the 63 first and then hit sine. So 63 sine, and that's the sine of 63 right there. And now to tell the calculator to go ahead and do the multiplication by 5, I'm going to hit equals. All right, and so that is what B, that's an approximation of B. So I'll show you again with this one. You've got 5 cosine 6, well, you've got cosine 63 is A over 5, adjacent over hypotenuse. Multiply by 5 on both sides. And now you have to punch this in. So you're going to say 5 times, not cosine 63, but 63 cosine. You have to put it in backwards in your calculator, but do not write it backwards, okay? It's actually, when you write it, you have to write cosine 63, but your calculator receives the information backwards. So I hit 5, I hit times, and now I'm going to hit 63 cosine. Now that 63 cosine is all one thing. It's not separated by anything. And so that's the cosine of 63 right there. And now I'm going to hit equals so it knows to multiply it by 5. So A comes out to be about 2.27. All right. If we're looking at this one, we are missing the angles this time. And so that means we're going to have to use what are the inverse functions. So we've got to find an angle before we do anything else. So we'll need to use the sides 4 and 6 because we have to have two sides to find an angle. So if the two sides, if we're looking at angle B, 4 is opposite and 6 is hypotenuse. So the sine of angle B is equal to opposite, which is 4, over hypotenuse, which is 6. And now I need to find out what sine B, I need to find out what B is. I know what sine B is 4 over 6, but I got to figure out what B is. So when you don't know the angle, when the angle is what's missing, you're going to use inverse sine. So I'm going to take my calculator. I'm going to hit 4 divided by 6 equals. All right, that's this number. And now instead of hitting sine, because I'm not taking the sine of that, instead of hitting sine, I'm going to hit inverse sine, which means I'm going to hit the second function key and then sine, because that's going to tell me the angle whose sine is 4/6, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the sine of 4 over 6. I'm looking for the angle whose sine is 4 over 6. So I'm not going to hit sine. I'm going to hit inverse sine. And that's going to tell me B is about 41.8 degrees. Okay, and then I can find A just by saying 180 minus 90, which is the right angle, minus 41.8, because that's B, and then whatever's left is going to be my A. So 180 minus 90 minus 41.8 is going to be 48.2 for A. All right, now I can use either one of those angles to find out what x is, or I can use the Pythagorean theorem. And to be honest, the Pythagorean theorem is going to give you a more exact answer because both A and B are approximations. They're not exact answers. Sorry, I should have put that little thing. So Pythagorean theorem is better to use to find x because 4 squared plus x squared is equal to 6 squared. And so 16 plus x squared is equal to 36. X squared is equal to 20. So x is going to be plus, well, it's not going to be plus or minus. It's going to be the square root of 20. And then that is going to be, well, if you, let me move this just a tiny bit. That is going to be, there's a 4 in there, so that's going to be 2 square root of 5. So, yeah, that would be the way to find x. But the main thing is that for this problem, when you know the angle, you're going to use sine or cosine or tangent, whichever one you want. And when you're punching it into your calculator, when you punch in this trig function, remember sine and 63 have to go together. They don't ever get separated. There's no way you can separate these in this problem. Don't try to like divide by 63 or something crazy. You can't separate these two things. But when you try to find the sine of 63, as I said before, your calculator wants to hear it backwards. They want the 63 first, then hit sine. That's the sine of 63. Make sure you write it in this order, but you punch it in backwards order. I know that seems difficult, but that's the way it is. All right, so, and when you don't know the angle, hit inverse sine or inverse cosine or whatever. If you know the ratio, opposite over hypotenuse or whatever, but you don't know the angle, that's when you use the second function sine or second function cosine, or you can see the little -1 up there by the sine. The way you would write that would be to say that inverse sine, which looks like that, of 4/6 is equal to b. So that's how you would rewrite that equation. And when you punch this into your calculator, you hit 4 divided by 6, hit equals, and then you hit inverse sine. Inverse sine. All right, so I hope that makes sense. If not, please let me know and I will help you.